welcome to All Steelers Talk, your home for everything Pittsburgh Steelers, presented by allsteelers.com.
What is up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk live. The day I couldn't even come up with words there. I'm so excited. Live the day after day one of the NFL draft. Pure excitement for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's been a long time, I think, since it's been this exciting to watch an NFL draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't even care that it's raining outside. Broderick Jones is on his way to the Steel City. He's about to go through the tunnel, arrive as he looks at Acrisure Stadium for the first time and just sees his new home for the next 4 years. So I got to ask, on this glorious Friday, how you feeling, my friend?
We're feeling, man. We're doing something. We're running on fumes, but we're making it work. I already know, man. I'm gonna check the comments to this live stream later on tonight when I get bored in between picks, and there's gonna be some random person that's just grilling me because these bags under my eyes. Somebody telling me, I look like I'm on something. Like people are gonna be grilling me without knowing the full context of what's happening here. But I'm feeling good, man. I'm still hyped up. I'm still, excited. We live, baby. We live.
We are live. For those of you who haven't seen, Derek's been pumping out content literally all night long. Man hasn't slept. It's 12:11 in the afternoon right now. Guy still hasn't laid in bed. He's put out a film review of Broderick Jones already. Go check that one out. And did a live stream at 1 o'clock in the morning just to make sure that he can answer everybody's questions. So the bags, they're warranted. At this point, if you didn't have bags, I'd be real worried about you. People got something to say about
it.
Steelers
is what
DB
it is,
every
right?
day. It is what it is. All right, let's talk Broderick Jones. Move up from 17 to 14 with the New England Patriots. Shout out to New England. Bill Belichick sitting there just saying, you want to know what would make my night right now as he looks at his dog? Screwing the New York Jets. That would just be beautiful. Hands the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pick 14. They trade back, take Christian Gonzalez. Do you like the move? Is this the franchise left tackle? Give me your initial thoughts as it all went down there at pick 14.
Yeah. Shout out Zach Smith, man, on our live stream the night before. He called the move, and I definitely could have saw it happening. I wasn't surprised when they were moving up to 14. I knew it was for Jones, seeing that he was still on the board. Jones probably, I would have personally probably taken Christian Gonzalez, but I understand the move for Jones, and I get why they did it. And I think it really has a lot to do with just the class in general. There's more cornerback depth in this class than there is offensive tackle depth. And then just the theme of the offseason for the Steelers has been upgrading the trenches. Protecting Kenny Pickett. You get Isaac Seumalo, you go up, get your potential franchise left tackle. It's a big swing, and I'm sure people remember this from last draft season, but I'm all about, like, in the first round, I'm all about big swings, man. Like, yeah. I like taking the risk. Jones was the number 21 player on my big board. And I definitely think that this is a move that could potentially pay just ridiculous dividends. I feel like I've talked about Broderick Jones for 24 straight hours now. So I'm like curious on what I've repeated so many times. So I'm trying to say the same thing.
Probably everything. But I agree with you. I think that Broderick Jones, that's the thing, man, is like, were there other players? Were there other routes? Christian Gonzalez is the biggest name. You dropped a little bit of news on him last night that it kind of exploded Steelers internet. If you haven't checked that out, allsteelers.com. It's sitting right there. But guy like Christian Gonzalez on the board, Joey Porter Jr. on the board, Nolan Smith on the board, Brian Brzee on the board. I think I like Broderick Jones. Like, in the moment, you obviously have your flaws, but he's a true junior, 3 years at school, coming into the NFL, so he's young. He's out of Georgia, who knows how to win. And I like that when Mike Tomlin said that last night. He goes, what I liked about him was that this guy knows how to win. He's been on winning organizations. And I think that's the thing. Omar said it. Exactly. Omar said it the second he sat down. First question. I'm not trying to be aggressive. I'm just trying to win Super Bowls. The Steelers want winners. Broderick Jones is a winner. They're done messing around. They saw their opportunity. They went and got it. I like it. I think, and like, my biggest thing is when they came in afterwards and sat down at the press conference, which, let me tell you, usually it is immediate. It is, the pick is in, you're on the phone with the player within like 4 minutes. And then right after that, you're talking to Mike Tomlin and usually Kevin Colbert. Like, it is so fast that you're pouring sweat by the time it's over, trying to tweet it all out and write articles and so on and so forth. We sat there for 10 minutes after we talked to Broderick Jones, and my mind was just like, I was actually writing it out. Like, I'm like, they're going to trade. Like, there's no way they're not trading into the first round. Yeah, this is what they're doing. And then Omar comes in, gives a 30-second speech about nothing, and goes, all right, I'll answer some questions here because we got to get back in there and keep making phone calls. And I was like, man, this guy's just, like, he's moving. Like, there is nothing. It's just like a respect. Like, the grind is so real right now for Omar. It's fun. It's actually like really, really fun to see.
Yeah. It was a wild first round, man. That was a crazy night. I'm excited for what tonight's gonna bring. I did want to answer this question: did they have to trade up and get him? Would he have still been available at 17? No, he was not going to be available because the Jets were unapologetically also in love with Broderick Jones.
Yeah.
So they were going to take him at 15. I guess is where they 15 is where they would pick.
Oh, the Jets would have picked 15.
They 100% would have taken him there. So. Yeah, the move up was necessary. And that's the thing with, this type of move, especially only giving up a 4th round pick to move up 3 spots and secure a guy with this type of upside, man, is, it's understandable. I completely get it from the Steelers' perspective. It's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out in the long run. But more than anything else, man, I have no reason not to trust Pat Mayer. I thought he did a really good job like last year with the offensive line, getting him his franchise left tackle that he can develop, a guy with all of these tools who's, admittedly raw, but with a sky high ceiling. I'm really excited about that because I want to see what he can do with that type of talent. It's going to be interesting to watch.
That's my big thing, is that now Pat Mayer has a project that he could handle. I think that was the biggest thing about the Steelers offensive line, is who was ever in here at offensive line. And Pat Mayer definitely impressed me last season, as he should have impressed everybody. But 2 years ago, you were looking at it and saying Kendrick Green is a huge project at center. Kevin Dotson's a project at left guard. Zach Banner or Chooks or whoever was starting at right tackle that summer, project. Left tackle is a 4th round pick who had no business starting in the NFL. Project. Nobody had a chance to succeed. Pat Mayer right now this season gets to look at literally just Broderick Jones and say, let me turn you into a franchise left tackle. Isaac Seumalo could handle his own, totally fine. Mason Cole could handle his own. James Daniels could handle his own. And Chooks is our veteran team guy who's been here forever. He has one priority, and that's to turn Broderick Jones into a franchise left tackle. And I mean, that's just super promising. That's in such a good spot for both sides there.
Yeah, what I'm going to say about this, though, Seumalo is a good player, right? He's probably a little bit better player than James Daniels, but Daniels has more youth on it. I think Daniels is a really solid player. Yeah. Broderick Jones has an upside that those guys can't touch, especially at left tackle. Yeah. The positional value alone makes that very intriguing, but just the athletic tools that this dude has, this is why I'm saying this could be a unbelievable type of pick. Even though I do acknowledge, like I said on Twitter last night, it's going to require patience. Pass protection, he's a year away in pass pro. It just is what it is. But when you look at the flashes, man, and the stuff that he can already do physically, it's hard not to get on board, because just how unbelievable and how freaky he is from an athletic trait standpoint.
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't the flashy pick. I had some people texting me and being like, would have loved Joey Porter Jr., would have loved Addison, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm more fired up about a franchise left tackle. I'm truly fired up about it. A nice corner would have been dope.
I don't think the Steelers have ever had a left tackle like this.
Never.
In my life.
Exactly.
I'm 29.
Yep. In our fandom, they've never had. They tried in Marcus Gilbert, didn't work out. He was a left tackle, right?
He played right. He played right tackle, but I don't think any.
Did they have a left tackle?
I can't name a tackle that they've had that's had this type of upside, and I'm not saying it's guaranteed that he gets there. But
we'll see. I agree. I'm Marcus Gilbert. I thought was a left tackle. I don't know where my brain was going there, but I agree. I don't think that they've ever put this much stock into it. And you said this last year, time and time again. You have to invest in your offensive line, and the Steelers didn't do that.
They've done it.
They did it. Here it is. They did it. All right. So I guess the biggest question now is what the hell happens at 32. There are, I guess, 4 teams, according to Jeremy Fowler, who have made serious inquiries about moving up to 32 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the fact that, and I'm going to shout out my boy, but kind of give him a little jab here. Alan Saunders said it yesterday to me. He goes, man, Levis falling out of the first round doesn't help the Steelers, because if you had one quarterback that's, a higher price tag. And I was like, no, I don't think that at all. I think Levis falling out of the first round just makes this price tag ginormous. Whereas in Hendon Hookers, maybe you go up and get him, maybe you don't. People are going to go get Levis. Is it over? Is it in your head? Is it a guarantee that a trade's happening and that the Steelers are moving back, or you think they're going to pick somebody?
Man, I know that they've been really open about potentially trading back and getting more picks.
Incredibly open.
That was before we saw who was on the board. I'm just looking at the board, man, and Joey Porter Jr. is still there. Brian Branch is still there. I mean, those two guys, Brian Branch is the number 12 player on my big board. Joey Porter is the number 17 player on my big board. There's some other guys that I think that they really like Keanu Benton is a perfect fit for the Steelers defense. It would really have to be an overwhelming offer for me to move off of 32. Just because I know some people are like, well, just move back a couple spots. They don't pick from 80 to 240, and I don't know how they're going to get a pick in between there. I mean, they're going to
trade
somehow.
next year. Yeah, I think they're just going to trade. Maybe Kevin Dotson leaves.
Yeah,
Kendrick Green, possibly.
Sure. But I mean, here's the thing, man. Like, if I was to tell however many of you guys are in here, if I was to tell you guys that they were going to walk out of the first 2 rounds with Broderick Jones and Joey Porter Jr., would you even care? Would you care about the rest of the draft? You guys would be like, yeah, pack me up. Let's go home. We're good. We're winning a 7th Super Bowl. I mean,
exactly.
That to me, I'm excited about making the pick. I mean, if they want to trade back a couple spots, with the Rams, if the Rams want to come up and get Stafford's,
I think Tennessee's too far. I wouldn't rule it out, but I think
maybe the Raiders, because I think
Raiders possibly.
Levis fits McDaniel's offense extremely well.
Yeah, I think they're comfortable waiting for a quarterback though, whatever one falls. Yeah. But I agree. What do you think you'd get? Like if you were trading realistically, you gave up a 4th to move up 3 spots in the first round. You're just getting that 4th back, because at that point, that's not worth it. Like,
yeah, it's not, because that's the thing. Like some of these guys, it happens every year. We see a couple guys that fall out of the first round. Everyone gets jealous and hopeful that that player is going to fall to their favorite team, and then those players come off the board between like 32 and 35. That's why I just don't think I would move back very few picks. I mean, moving back with Detroit, is that even worth it to get like an extra 5th round pick? I mean, you're only moving back 2 spots. If Detroit wants to come up and take Levis, okay. You look at some of these other teams like Vegas, that's 50 points. So you're potentially maybe getting a 4th round pick back there. Like I said, man, I just don't. I don't really want to do it, to be honest with you. I think I'm just making the pick.
I think I mean too.
But I will say, I know that they're trying to
4th.
And they're trying to drive the price up, right? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
You just saw Fowler tweeted out, like that's the team trying to drive the price up.
Yeah.
They're being smart about it. They need to take as many calls as possible. I was telling people on the stream last night, like they need to take this thing down to the very last second before they turn the card in. Even if they know, because somebody may get desperate and be like, hey, we just got to do it. Pull the trigger. We like Levis, whoever, or, we like Porter Jr. or Brian Branch or whoever, Keon White. I mean, if there's guys out there that, they're really desperate for and they want to overpay, and the Steelers can move back a couple spots and still get like, let's say we get a 3rd round pick out of that trade, then that conversation is a little different.
Yeah. I think a 3rd round is where my line is. Like anything behind a 3rd round, not worth it to me. If you could get a 3rd round and you could stay within, 41 is so far back, but if you could stay within 40, maybe 8 picks, I'm not feeling great about it, but I'm not feeling terrible about it either. I just think that at that point might be worth it. You might have options.
I don't want to move back too far if I was them and not be able to get Porter, Branch, or Keanu Benton. Like if I can move back and get one of those 3 guys, regardless of who it is, like I feel okay about it. And I think that the Steelers like all three to various degrees, and they're definitely in play right here at 32. But
So, okay, so let me ask this. If you're staying at 32, who's your guy? Is it Porter or is it Branch?
either. I'm cool with either, man. Like I don't care. I'm not a picky guy. Branch is higher on my big board, but
Yeah.
I've been a Brian Branch
Yeah,
believer for a long
I was
time.
gonna say you shouted Brian Branch's name from the rooftops
Yeah.
for all of months now.
And
I get that. I feel the same way. I feel like
I've
either
grown
one
to
of them helps
appreciate
it.
Porter too.
Yeah. Porter's, I think that's the thing, is like Porter has all the upside you're looking for. Branch is just so like exciting, Like he is a guy that could come in here and do so many things, and you could utilize him so many ways, and the impact is just, it's so unknown that it's a thrill.
He's plug
Whereas,
and play.
yeah, he's a plug and
Plug
play
and play.
guy. Yeah. Whereas in like Porter, it's there, but the production wasn't there. But you look at him and you say, this guy should be a phenomenal cornerback. It just, is he going to be? I think yes. I think the answer is yes. But I think both of those guys, you put them on a scale, they're pretty even.
It's tough, man. I would have never imagined.
No, not a million years.
Never imagined that that this would be the way that the board looks for them at 32. I mean, even as optimistic as I was about, how exciting this would be to have the first pick of the second round, it's very rare because I feel like I complain every year about how the board never breaks for the Steelers the way I want it to, and this year it's broke perfectly. Perfectly.
I didn't really get to like, I did to a degree, like I paid attention to the entire draft, but my mind is obviously like, okay, there's a million things happening that I have to record and, talk to people on the phone and so on and so forth. What the hell happened? Like, that's my biggest thing, is like, how did we get here? I haven't taken a second to just digest of like, how did Nolan Smith fall to 30 when he was supposed to just not even have a chance to get past 17? Jalen Carter slides to 9 and the Pittsburgh Steelers are nowhere to be found. When that was the move, Darnell Wright goes 10 to the Chicago Bears.
10,
yeah.
Bears.
When that was Broderick Jones, there was no chance. He was a pick at 32 like a month and a half ago. Emmanuel Forbes goes before Christian Gonzalez. It's just, this might have been the wildest draft, wildest day one of the draft
It was a wild first
possibly
round,
ever saw.
That was a wild night. I won't forget about that one for a long time. It was a lot of fun, but it was wild.
No. So, all right. So let's talk about the rest of it, because there's still obviously there's actually way more action ahead of us than there is behind us. You stick at 32 and you're thinking that your options are Joey Porter Jr. or Brian Branch. Those are probably top on the Steelers list there. You move past that on who's still on the board. 49, 80 still options. Do you, at a time we were tossing out names like DeJuan Jones, that's probably gone. What direction do you see the rest of this draft going? Like, is there positions that you see the Steelers still got to go get?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's a lot of options. I talked about defensive line, Keanu Benton, Gervon Dexter from Florida. Those guys definitely are going to be of interest to them, guys that they've spent a good amount of time with. Then you talk about the interior offensive line, and the Steelers have put a lot of time and effort into the interior offensive line group, even after signing Isaac Seumalo, and Herbig as well. I think that that's definitely on the board. You think about Steve Avila. He's played 4 positions on TCU's offensive line.
Yep.
Center capable. John Michael Schmitz, they've spent a good amount of time with him as well. And then I think about edge rusher.
Possibly.
Tui Tuipulotu. Interesting name from USC. Really productive. Honestly, one of the most productive pass rushers last year in the nation. Maybe Nick Herbig. The Steelers love those family connections, right? Herbig is probably an inside linebacker, off-ball linebacker for a lot of teams because he doesn't have the requisite length that teams typically look for in edge rushers, but he's a pretty bendy and flexible guy. So he could do some – I'm not saying he is Nolan Smith, but he can do some of the things that we were all saying, like, oh, if they get Nolan Smith, they could do these things. Like Dorian Williams – that's a guy that I keep hammering home.
Oh, yeah. I want to say this about Nick real quick. If he's anything like his brother, I am 10,000% on that pick. Like I'll run the card up. I'll talk to Mike today. I don't care. I'm about that. I do agree with that one. Dorian Williams is a name for me to watch. I think that there's a high possibility they get a center here at 49 because they put so much effort into that, where if you could get your pick now, feel real comfortable about it, and then you have edge rushers in the third round. Like that class is so deep, whereas the center class deeper than normally, I would say, but these guys that are still, the fact that the big three are still on the board is, if you're looking for a center, which I think the Steelers are, this is a dream come true for you to get Joey Porter Jr. and then maybe like a Joe Tippmann or a John Michael Schmitz at 49. Could you imagine those 3 picks? This is like Madden.
Yeah, pretty different. Another name, Darnell Washington, took a late visit to the Steelers.
I was waiting for you to say that one.
That one's interesting. How far does he slide? Is he still there at 49? Would they consider that? Would they consider him at 32 right here? Tyreek Stevenson, very few, if any, players have had more smoke, I guess, to the Steelers than him recently. I think that's a interesting name. If the Steelers did go somewhere else other than corner here at 32, would they take Stevenson over Joey Porter Jr.? I don't think they would, it would set Twitter. It would set Twitter aflame.
Could you imagine?
I'm Team Chaos.
Yeah, 100%. Could you imagine Ike Taylor's just tweet? I don't even know what it would be. It'd probably just be like a little devil horn or something. But you'd know the smile on this guy's face would be huge, huge. I could see Tyreek Stevenson. I could see that that being the reason the Steelers are comfortable either trading back or not going with Joey Porter Jr. at 32 is because they like Tyreek Stevenson so much. At least that's what, you could guess from the reports, I guess.
You can imagine like my facial expression when I see stuff like this. I'm sorry, I just laugh.
Cam Smith was once considered an option for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got plenty of questions about him. I think that's the part right now is there are a lot of guys that are sliding, that we had some questions on. Joey Porter Jr. doesn't seem to be in that mix. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't seem to fit what is sliding in the draft. You know what I mean? Like what you're getting out of Joey Porter Jr. You know exactly what you're getting out of Joey Porter Jr. You know exactly why you're going to draft him. Why did nobody take a chance on him? Like, did we miss something? Did teams see something? Like he's at the green room. The guy was expected to go top 20. Here we are.
Yeah. I mean, there's always a couple, right? I mean, that fall that we don't expect. And, he's just one of those unfortunate guys this year, just how the draft played out. I'm really surprised that Emmanuel Forbes went where he did. I not the fact that he went above Porter, because I mean, I guess I don't agree with it, but
but I saw that.
I can see it a little bit more. But like the fact that Forbes went above Gonzalez is
maybe more teams than one were in on why the Pittsburgh Steelers were not about Christian Gonzalez. Like maybe that, and I'll tell you this, that after me and you talked last night, my mind immediately went to a conversation that I had with a source back in, I don't know, March, maybe last month, maybe the end of February. It was just after the NFL Combine, where they told me that another team that had nothing to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers, we were just in conversation, felt that Christian Gonzalez would be the worst option they could take at number 8. Or I just gave up what team it was. But when they were on the board, like if Christian Gonzalez was there, they'd take him because they see the upside, but they were nervous that they were going to get stuck having to take that guy. I mean, maybe it's out there, maybe it is. Maybe that's a reason. And those things, being a football player is huge. That was the Jalen Carter thing. I don't know. You never know. Either way, they passed up on him. I'm not upset about it. All right, let's give before we head out, because we're there, at this point it's just waiting and seeing. What do you expect today? Where's your mind going?
Chaos. Give me chaos. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want chaos, man.
What's the chaos?
Here's the thing. Chaos? We're gonna have to get a cornerback. A cornerback. This is the thing we were talking about. Me and Smitty were talking about this. What's the worst case scenario for the Steelers that they leave the draft and you're just like, this is awful. This cannot happen. And for me, it was leaving the draft without a potential like starting cornerback on the boundary. Not
Yep.
just for not really so much for this year, but for next year. Like I
Yep.
needed a guy that I was really comfortable with playing on the boundary like in 2024. If they leave the draft without that, which that would set me over the edge. So that's what I think that this second round has to be dedicated to. I think you got to get a corner. And I know the depth of the class is really good, but they need to double dip. Like I'm firmly in the camp that they need to double dip at corner, man. Like if you just look at the roster, Levi Wallace, last year of his deal, Pat Pete has lost a step, and he's probably gonna play corner for maybe one more year, and then he's gonna probably be a safety if he's still playing football. So there's not a developmental corner. Like most teams will have this third round raw guy that they're just trying to like string along, or they'll have like a young rookie on the roster that, they're waiting to break out or something like that. Like the Steelers, they have nothing. There is nothing. It's just a bunch of like kind of mismatched puzzle pieces put together. So you got to get a corner. That's the number one thing for me. As long as they do that, I will be happy. Especially if they leave this, if they pick 32 and they take Branch, Porter, regardless of what happens the rest of the draft, it's a dub for me. It's a dub.
Oh yeah, huge dub. Shout
like
out
something really would have to go off the rails in the last couple picks here for me to be a little bit upset. So
yeah, shout out Meat Whip. What a name! What a name! Appreciate you all the way from Germany. Hope you're good out there. Hope you're enjoying the draft. All the way in Germany.
You, man.
I agree. I think that pure chaos is exactly what I'm always looking for. If anybody who knows me even slightly, the more chaos that I thrive. I thrive when the Steelers just explode. But I agree. I think that it's like, in my mind, I've already kind of dubbed this draft a win. Like it's very hard to screw it up from this point on. I'm kind of looking at it the other way. Just how good can Omar Khan get? Like how impressed can I be in Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin's first draft together by the end of it? And I'm feeling really confident that I'm going to be very impressed in how things are looking once this is all said and done. Like,
can I real quick ask the chat, and I'm not trying to be grumpy because I haven't slept, but like y'all keep saying this a lot. I've seen this the past couple times that I've been on. Y'all saying that people are only talking about certain players because they're brothers and Joey Porter Jr. because of his dad. Like, when did y'all start saying stuff like this, like crazy stuff like that? Like, what are y'all doing, man?
I feel like for a third round pick, fourth round pick guy, it has nothing to do with your brother. Like, if you were going first round, maybe we could talk about it.
I feel like I don't hear that stuff on Twitter from other fan bases. It's just, I don't know. It's weird to me when y'all say stuff like that. I don't know.
It's all about
maybe that's just me. I don't know.
It could be.
I don't know about trading down for more picks, man. I know everybody keeps asking like trade down or make the pick. To me, I just don't know if you're going to get enough value to warrant coming off of some of these guys that have fallen out of the first round. I mean, again, if somebody's going to overpay and the Steelers are able to drive up a ridiculous price point, I'm all about it. Do it.
Let me toss this out there because we did not talk about future picks. What if we get a second next year?
No, but if I'm getting a first for next year,
yes. I don't think you're getting a first. I don't think you're getting a first and this year's second. I think I might think about it for a second, depending on who that team is, depending on, if it's not the Lions, I'm not doing it. The Raiders, I'm probably not doing it. The Titans, I might do it. The Titans, there's a good chance they stink this year, and I'd feel really horrible. It's like the Houston Texans and the Arizona Cardinals.
Also horrible.
Like, that was the craziest move of all time. What are you doing? Like, why?
As much as I like Will Anderson a lot, man.
No, you don't like him that much. Nobody likes him that much.
I understand getting CJ Stroud too, but man, it's tough. That's tough to give up. I know they did have 2 first round picks though, right? Because they still have Cleveland.
They did, but they gave up a first round next year. They potentially gave up, like, depending on how optimistic you are on the Houston Texans, there's a possibility. I don't know how strong
they're bottom 5.
Number 1. There's a possibility that they just gave up the first pick in the draft next year, which could be Caleb Williams, could be, and the Cardinals have a quarterback. So at that point, they're just like,
what kind of ransom? What kind of ransom could you get next year
for Caleb Williams or Drake May?
I mean, like, are we talking 4 first-round picks? I mean, like,
minimum. Like, what was
it would be an outrageous haul.
What was the last huge trade? Was it Goff? No, it had to be after Goff.
I don't know. I'm gonna go look at that.
Maybe it was LA
after the pod.
No, it might have been LA. Didn't they give up like 3 first-round picks or something? 4 first-round picks. That's it. Minimum. Yeah. Depending on who. And like, imagine if it's a team like, I don't know, Carolina's got their quarterback, but like Detroit, who's like on the verge, like they got a team. They're giving up the whole world for this thing.
Yeah.
Arizona, the Steelers, in my mind, won the draft to some, in whatever capacity they could have won it. The Arizona Cardinals walked out of there studs, like absolute studs. To trade back in and use the picks that you just got to go get Paris Johnson too. Yep. Phenomenal.
Just give me a corner, man. Give me a corner I like, and we're Gucci. I'm happy. I'll be really excited post night 2 stream. I'll be really excited about that. So just give me a corner and don't do nothing crazy. Because here's the thing: I usually love what the Steelers do on day 2 of the draft. Just over the course of my lifetime, I've always liked their day 2 picks, especially over the past decade. I've liked their day 2 picks way more than I've liked their first round picks. So it'll be interesting to see if that continues tonight. If it does, I mean, hey, we're in business. I'll be happy. I'm just hoping for good things.
Yeah, good things would be good.
Good vibes only.
Good vibes only. Hopefully Derek's not delusional on the live stream tonight. Could be
100% going to be. But the good news is, y'all see what I'm drinking. I'm drinking water right now.
Gotta load up on the water because the monsters come.
I'm loading up on the water because we got the 4:30 stream before the night 2 kicks off on this channel, on my channel. Y'all can come check that out. And then I don't know, man, we might get kind of funky again. We may do a post night 2 stream depending on how if the monster's still kicking,
So I'm gonna leave this off here as with some exciting news, maybe for those. Antonio Brown, and at this point it's becoming a yearly thing, just tweeted out that he is excited to return to the NFL, #RavensFlock. And then it's a picture of him in an 84 Ravens jersey. There's no way. Like, there's no, what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you're backing up. Like he can't pass a drug test right now. That's never going to happen. On top of that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. On top of that, there's like a billion things against him. He's got like 3 legal problems. The NFL's not letting this guy back in.
Didn't he just get arrested like the other day?
Arrested. Yeah. No. The warrant's still out. He hasn't been arrested yet. He's not coming back to the NFL.
I can't
it's not
do AB,
happening.
Man. Whatever.
But with that, we had to day 2 of the NFL draft. Very exciting stuff. Make sure Derek and Nick will be live 4:30 on this channel and on Derek's channel, youtube.com @Steelers_DB. Check them out 4:30 to 6:30. Correct?
Yeah.
And I will be
We're back at it.
Back at it. I'll be jumping on about 5:30-ish to recap what Broderick Jones has to say in his welcome press conference to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Then we dive right into night 2, round 2 of the 2023 NFL draft. Check out everything at youtube.com/allsteelerstalk and allsteelers.com. Like I said, they'll be back later. Peace.